Hello, everybody, and welcome to the late episode of the Classic Quest podcast.
It's very late. We both have had colds. Forgive us, guys.
It's talking about Remy Ma. There's something about Remy based on a true story. There you are,
Whoop, whoop.
algorithm.
Ladies' night.
Watching for the words. My name is HSR.
I am your lady friend, Bonnie.
And we'll be here talking about this album today. For those of you not interested in this little lengthy introduction
If you guys already know us and you're like sick of hearing about us.
Or you're just like, when the fuck is this gonna start? In the description of the video, you will see all the timestamps for every single song. Because we go through this album
If you have no time to waste, by now I assume that you've already skipped forward and you're in the future.
So track by track, you'll see a whole breakdown of it. We go through it. We give our thoughts on each and every song, even the skits, the everythings, and let you know what we think from the perspective of us amateurs over here in this room.
Amateurs, faux show.
So basically, if you know more, if you watch this and you're like, fuck these guys, blah, 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 whatever you want to say in the comments, if you have educational tidbits, cool stories, anecdotes, facts, anything, please share it because it's good for us.
Yeah.
It's good for everyone else coming
more
to
the
the
merrier,
video.
right? Like, let's build this community of hip-hop expertise.
Yes, and finding the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so thank y'all for being here. Before we jump into it, to show y'all serious about the comments. The last episode we did was the Souls of Mischief review for 93 Till Infinity, and on that Super Old School 1994 commented, great review, guys. This album was really a time capsule of 93 where you had the beats that sounded very dirty and lo-fi. I'm a beat maker myself. And what you're hearing is a 12-bit sound, and that was very popular in the 90s. The beats sounded like they were made on an SP1200, which was a 12-bit drum machine that's responsible for the classic hip-hop sound. I would recommend you check out the wax-only episode of 93 Till Infinity on YouTube when you have time. It's a DJ vid, Rick Kennedy going through the samples of the album using the vinyl records they were sampled and mixing them into the corresponding song from the album. It's a great series if you're into hip-hop production. I've actually seen a video or two of that dude, and he's absolutely right. It's super fascinating shit to watch, but that's the kind of comments that blow my mind, right? Because you get to learn some stuff, and everyone else gets to learn some stuff, and that's cool.
I mean, I don't even know, what those, mixes that you were mentioning are. So, I mean, I'm going to have a conversation with you and start with, the real basics.
Yeah, or check out the YouTube channel and start watching.
Yeah.
Anyway, special thanks to our patrons and Del Williams, Super School 1994, the same guy, Chris Prado, and Ismail Gadamsi. We'll talk a bit about that at the end. So now I think we can jump up into this review. Bonnie, why don't you take a quick minute to introduce the album that we introduced at the beginning?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, but probably mostly gentlemen.
Almost
but we would love to see some ladies
gentlemen
here. So share this video with some ladies and be like, hey, check out this lady talking about a lady rapper. So this week we are doing Remy Ma's There's Something About Remy. And this is based on a true story.
According to the album title.
And this came out on February 7th, 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason we're talking about this album is because every 10 episodes we talk about a lady rapper. That's just part of the rules we made.
It's the rules.
Because they're highly underrepresented in hip-hop. And
I had to do something about that, and I had to make sure that we we actually, reviewed them.
Yeah, so this is episode 80. So this is our 8th lady rapper. And you might be going, why Remy Ma? Well, I'll tell you.
Why not Remy Ma?
I've been watching State of the Culture because I'm a sucker for Joe Budden. That guy's stuff is just fascinating. And he pushes long-form content on the internet, which is totally something I can get behind. Either way, State of the Culture came out on Revolt TV. If you haven't checked that out, it's got Joe Budden along with this Jinx dude, this Scotty girl, Scotty Beam, and then Remy Ma sitting there debating all sorts of very fascinating topics from very different perspectives and stuff. So
I've kind of caught a couple of bits and pieces of episodes kind of over his shoulder, and it looks pretty interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I just enjoy it, the banter, but what's fascinating to me is how cool, calm, and collected Remy Ma remains pretty much consistently, how wise she comes off, how much she seems to know, how aware she is, involved she is, and I don't know. It just made me go, what the fuck does she like really sound like as a rapper? Like I heard the Sheether track when it dropped, right? When she went at Nicki Minaj, I think it was this year or maybe last year, I don't remember. And then we talked about the Plateau Pluma album, Chris and I. So if you want to check out that review, somewhere up there, hopefully I remember to put it. But that'll be on my channel too. So we went over that, but that was still kind of like Joe did a verse, Remy did a verse, some guest on the hook, and banger beats. That was every song on that album. So I don't know. At the time, I didn't really know who Remy was. I thought she was dope as a rapper, but I feel like compared against something like this album, I didn't really see as much of her personality there. And then I was like super fascinated to like watch her just talk week over week, and then wanted to check out her album, check her discography. This was before she went to jail, so I was like, this could be really interesting. And then here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was in high school when Lean Back popped, so like. Everybody knows Lean Back. You might not know Lean Back. Everybody knows Lean Back. Anyway,
I think I know Lean Back.
Remy Ma was on Lean Back, just in case you didn't know.
Okay, I don't think I knew that actually.
Yeah, she was the girl that like stepped around security checks or something like that. I don't remember the exact line.
See, like, I mean, I don't really like. You know, we can talk about now, like, if we know her or not, or, like, when we started to, like, get to know her.
Yeah, for me, it was, like, very recently.
Yeah, I mean, same. Like, very, very recently, like last week. But, well, I mean, I feel like I've heard the name, I've, you know, maybe, like, came across it or something, but definitely, like, I didn't know that she made, like, whole albums or whatever. I'm sorry about that. But here we are today, and I'm rectifying that situation. So, yeah, that's it.
I don't know what to say to that. But yeah, I mean, like, I knew who Remy was. I knew she was Remy Ma. I knew a bit before this. I know she's very lyrical. So that's kind of what I was expecting going into this. I kind of love the, like, title of this, though, right? Because it's kind of playing up off of There's Something About Mary, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, based on a
Which
true
is, like,
story.
the super white girl, right, Cameron?
And then, but like, it's just the idea that like she's presenting her life like this glamorous movie, right? But it's based on a true story, which kind of adds that as much as the life feels like a movie per se, she keeps it on the real, like you're supposed to. Like I get the feeling that Remy Ma isn't afraid to say exactly what she means, and she's not about to fabricate false stories for the sake of like embellishing shit or whatever, based on what I understand. So I like the way that's emphasized in the title. While you look at like this cover, and she's just in this dress with this little dog, and it's just like decked out with all these posters and stuff. And I'm like, this is a fascinating cover that would make me want to like click on the movie to be like, what the fuck is this about? Like if I had no idea, I think the cover makes me curious enough to like actually want to hear the album with no like anything else. I don't know.
And like at the same time, she kind of looks like a little bit like innocent and like cute, but like at the same time, like you can tell that there's like, you know, she's obviously like looks cool. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Anyway, rather than just wasting your time looking for things to talk about, we can discuss Mr. Big Pun's words.
You know what I mean? In this case, my girl hit like a grown motherfucking man.
Fun fact, I wrote out the lyrics on the Genius page for this one because I couldn't find them. Yeah, that's right. I took the time to transcribe all 18 seconds of this. It's Big Pun.
Yeah.
And he introduces the album in a really, I think it's a really brilliant introduction for what it is, you know? I don't know if you want to comment.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically just, like, kind of declaring that Remy is tough as shit and, you know, is equal to any man, so don't think anything less of her, you know, and watch out for her because, you know, she could come and get you.
I mean, in some cases, like, she's better than most men, you know? Like, she's a real force to be reckoned with.
And also, this album was released on the 6th anniversary of Big Pun's death.
Rest in peace and all.
Yeah, rest in peace. Because, and like just to mention that, you know, because he was basically Remy's like mentor and like teacher and, you know, like I think, you know, very much like best friend kind of situation as well.
I mean, like there's stories that she has told where it's like She was like 15 or whatever, and he heard her spitting somewhere, and then invited her to like come over, and he's like, I'm gonna like call you up one day, and then he did. And she was like, no fucking way. So he calls up, the car brings her over. She walks in. She describes like Pun's just sitting there getting a massage. All sorts of shit's going on. And she's like, what the fuck? Anyway, they become like real cool. He starts like introducing her as this girl's protege. And he's going to like turn her into something, etc., etc. So she was involved with that whole crew. And then he like passed, and she was on Terror Squad, I believe, for a while with Fat Joe. And then
Good old Fat Joe.
This album came out. And then if I'm not mistaken, actually, Fat Joe and Remy Ma end up having beef because this album doesn't perform very well, which is something I think we can touch on a little bit as to why maybe that happened. And and then they reconciled because they dropped an album last year that we talked about. So I think it's interesting. Just overall, like her story has a lot of fascinating tidbits and weird like circumstances that like you would like. Like, what are the odds that you end up being, like, the random girl that Big Pun just decides is going to throw all of his fucking energy at, you know?
Yeah.
And apparently they never smashed, or at least I couldn't find online. And yes, I did look. I wanted to know if they smashed.
But yeah, I mean, because it's very friendly. I'll just say that. Like, it just, like, implies that there's, like, something, obviously, sexual going on between them.
Especially on that one track.
Yeah.
But I just think in general, like, this is a cool introduction. For the sake of legitimizing, like, her claims, like, Pun is here introducing her. Like, this was probably recorded with the intentions of being used as that introduction someday or whatever. Yeah. Or it was just a random thing that was just sitting there. But it was, like, legitimate.
Or maybe it was, like, an introduction from something else. Like, from, like, maybe, like, a video or, you know, or a show that she was about to perform. And, you know, she just took that clip of, of the recording.
Yeah, it just worked up. I give it a 4. It's short, it's sweet, does its job, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't have a lot more to comment.
Yeah, I gave this one a 4.25. I thought it was nice, and you could definitely tell that, like, he was proud of her. And, you know, this is sort of, like, honoring him by, like, you know, featuring him at the very beginning and having him, like, introducing her, like, kind of like the show. Like, you know, he's kind of, like, handing her off a little bit, you know, like, because he's dead, right? So, but, yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was good.
All right, cool. The truth is, though, she's gone. She is gone.
Some truth to that sex style shit, cause bitches is so pussy. Niggas is just dick shit.
So, the beat, I kind of really like it. It's pretty nice. Remy Ma, she got some fucking passion to the way she comes in. There is one little criticism I may have with this song. I'm not trying to be a negative person.
Okay.
But I'm not really a fan of the hook. And that's going to be a consistent theme on this album. And I know that maybe she's not like a big hook person, and maybe that's not the kind of music she's trying to go for or whatever. But I feel like the verses are ridiculous. Like, there ain't a bitch as little as me. No bitch as real as me. Shit, I live in the Steelers, drug dealers, killers. Please don't give a fuck what y'all motherfuckers think of me. So fucking what? Fuck a slut if she ain't feeling me. Oof. Okay, like, that's like some in your face, blunt, letting you know that this is not a lady you're gonna fuck around with. Like, basically, as I believe, like, she implies somewhere on this project, she's coming off like a dude rapper as far as anything. She may as well like be that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's beautifully legitimate. Rolls on through. Fucking hard, you know? Like, ride that dick, make him eat your shit, bust your nut, ma, light a blunt to my shit. I feel like there's a lot of empowerment too. It's not just like, I'ma come in. It's like, woman, be strong, get yours, do your thing. Love it. Super respect. And when you get to this hook, young, but I did too much shit too. I smoke like an O a day, nothing but the dro and haze, so now I feel no pain, now I gotta go away. And then some dude talking and hyping her up for a little bit. I'm like, oh. It just feel like it's such a vibe killer. Like, you're coming in with this. The verse is like, take your fucking hat, like, take your fucking hat. It's too good. But then all of a sudden, like, the chorus comes in and you're like, okay. But then verse 2 comes in and she follows up with, like, the same intensity and the same passion as verse 1. And it's fucking ridiculous. That beat, I'm a sucker for that sound. Like, I kind of came into rap in the mid-2000s. That's the first exposure I had to rap. This kind of sounds like that awesome era, but, like, polished as fuck, beautiful, banger type things. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit of a stickler here on the hook. Sorry if you really dig it, if you, like, bop your head to it or whatever. But for me, everything else is fucking amazing to it. But that, so I gave it a 4.25.
Okay. I mean, really, she doesn't give a fuck, right? She feels no pain. She's tough as shit. And then she also, like, shouts out, like, the Bronx. And then, like, there's kind of, like, a moment of silence for Big Pun. So that's another, like, you know, she obviously still misses him, like, tremendously. And she's, you know, and then she says, you know, basically she'll do anything for, like, the Terror Squad, you know, which is the rap group that she's in case you didn't know. And she'll sell drugs to make money. She's, like, willing to do, like, you know, what is typically, like, a man's kind of job, I guess. A drug dealer is usually a man, I think. But, so she's, like, taking, you know, she's got the balls to do it. She's got, you know, she's a tough lady. And, like, you know, if, like, and she'll do that if her album isn't selling, like, she's kind of saying, which, you know, inevitably it does. But, you know, and she talks about looking like fly as fuck, and she's just like a real bitch, and like she's just kind of like, that's what it is, so deal with it. So I mean, it was pretty good. I gave it a 4.5. I liked it. And I guess, like, who's, like, gone is, like, maybe her weaker self, or, like, you know, her past self, and she's, like, a stronger woman now. Like, maybe she's overcome something. I don't know.
Well, I kind of took, like, she smoked a bunch of pot and her mind's fucking gone. I mean, based on the hook, I can't really see anything else to interpolate from that.
Okay.
She smokes like an O a day, which is respectable. If you can really bang on an O a day, that's like Snoop Dogg level, for real. So props to that. I'm not trying to, like, shit on it. I just felt like it was a weird chorus for this song. Anyway, do you have more on this?
Nope, that's it.
Well, lights, camera, action, levels.
Bamboo earrings and my bangles on. Yeah, word up, the girl look good.
Yo, Bonnie, is the levels good? Are they?
Yeah, the levels is good.
All right.
Terrible grammar.
How do you feel about this song?
I liked it. The beat is really, like, you know, cool and fun, and, like, yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. So it starts off, and, you know, she's looking kind of like a guy because I think she's pretty intimidating, obviously. And she also, like, kind of describes, like, her cool-looking outfit, which I think is, like, kind of cool. Like, why not? Like, and she talks about that she likes fashion and she's into, like, all of that kind of stuff. And then she, like, warns everybody to bring their weapons because she's about to go on stage. So she's, like, you know, kind of, like, bring it, and she feels kind of like a star. And that she's made it, like, she's, like, overcome, like, something. Like, you know, again, I'm kind of going with, like, she must have overcome something. And, like, the beat of the song and, like, the way that it sounds, it's kind of hypnotizing a little bit. Like, it's I don't know, it's just, like, it kind of sucks you in. I thought it was cool. And she's kind of saying that she's ready to destroy you and don't fuck with her, basically. And so, yeah, she's just kind of saying, like, stay the fuck out of her space, I guess. So this one sounds, like, kind of gritty and, like, a little bit raw. I like that. It didn't sound like perfect or whatever. I think it just sounded like, you know, like her part was perfect, and, like, this. Anyways, it all sounded very good, but it just sounded a little bit gritty. So, anyways, I give this one a 4.25. I like this one.
That's fair. So I feel like much what I said on the last track applies a bit here.
Yeah.
Because that beat is ridiculous. It's got, like, this bouncy cadence to it that just makes you want to bop your head. You just want to start dancing to it, you know? And, like, the way she just bounces off the beat is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, here I am standing in my b-boy stance. I got my name here brushed on the leg of my pants. It's like, it just feels so classic. Like, it feels like Remy Ma breathes hip-hop.
Yeah.
Like, the old school shit.
Yeah.
Like,
That's very. I feel like that's very true.
Is meant for, like, hip hop heads of, like, I guess they call old heads now. That's who she's like. I'm not really sure exactly the splits of fandoms, whatever. But, like, she appeals
They're
to, like, those
heads now.
same people that probably can't stand all the new mumbly dudes. So, like, I just kind of fucking, like, love the way she flows. I mean, what she's saying here, I don't know. It's kind of vapid a little bit. Like, she's flossing who she is, what she's wearing.
Yeah.
But in that, like, braggadocious hip-hop kind of way. And it's fucking blunt, and it's to what it is. But it's cool, because it's all lady shit. You know? And that's what's kind of cool about it, because it comes in with the intensity, like everything you've ever heard before. But at the same time...
But a little bit different.
Put my gazelles on my eyes, now I'm looking for trouble. Never heard that one before. I'm a 80s babies paid in full. I've heard that one before. Because, that's like, this, I think it's like
Eric B.
Oh, Eric B. and Rakim, right? My bad. I always get those confused for some reason. But,
what did you say?
The Slick Rick. Because we did like the Slick Rick album, and then we did like the Eric B. and Rakim album a couple weeks before. One. And so, like, I just mix those two up all the time. But, so, like, you come in with, like, the kind of, like, really classic feel to this. And then that chorus, bring your guns and your nines along. Why? I'm vibing. Remy Ma's on the microphones. All right, I'm feeling it. The levels is good. The levels is good. The levels is good. Again, I just feel like it breaks the flow. Like, everything's going, like...
It is kind of a weird chorus.
You're just bopping, and you just... maybe you don't agree with me.
It sounds good, but it is kind of weird at the same time.
Just throws me off a bit. Second verse kicks back in, kind of hip-hop-y. Back in the day, the parties, all the kind of culture-y shit, it's fucking fire. The hook kicks back in, and you're like, the levels. And you're just like, I don't like that part. But otherwise, this song is ridiculous. It's like, I want to be giving this shit, like, 5s, because her, like, talent on these verses, to me, is really good. But anyway, the hooks, whatever. I'm giving this a 4.25 because I really enjoy it. I really think it's a cool song. And I'm just nitpicking at that one thing, but it bothers me that much, aside from everything else being shiny and awesome. I love the overall sound, even the grittiness and everything. I loved it. It's really cool. Anyway.
Let's check out Tight.
That's what the dude's like.
Pull up to my bumper, baby. You want that flow that's sick? Well, that's me.
All right, Bonnie, you should just do this one.
I like this one. It's definitely more of like a party beat. I like, I can relate to Remy. Like, I get it. So she's like physically tight. I think she's also talking about, like that. And she's looking good. She looks, she's got these nice clothes. Like, she's fit. She's like rolling in it. She's confident. Her rhymes are sick. And then she kind of is like the coldest bitch. And then she wears like fancy Italian clothes. So she's, she's living it up, and nobody's fucking with her. And, because she'll, I think she probably has people that, she can get you to take care of all you people if anybody's like bothering her. And she's rated R because she's badass. So like, maybe she'll just take care of you herself. I like this one. I mean, it's a fun song. I like the me.
No, she's been singing that for a minute now.
Yeah, it's fun. I really like it. It gets like, it's like stuck in your head. And it's a fun song. And I like that it's like, that she's so confident and she's like there and in your face, just like any other man would. And I think that that's good. So I gave, and this is obviously featuring Fat Joe. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Not yet.
But I gave this a 4.5. Yeah, I really liked it.
Okay. I agree that this beat is like a more clubby, like it's a little bit more slowed down than the last one. Mm-hmm. Like, you're meant to kind of wave a little bit more. Maybe your girl's dancing on you, that kind of thing.
Pull up to your bumper, right? So I think that's her bum.
I'm just saying.
I'll just say that.
But right off the jump, something felt a little bit weird to me, and that something was Fat Joe. I did not enjoy Fat Joe's performance on this track. I feel like, in theory, the chorus was actually kind of tight. Like, that thick, tight, that vert. But it's just...
It made me think of like, that this would be a song that Chris would like.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like Remy was doper without Fat Joe hyping her up. That was my feeling. Like, I felt like Remy was just doper without him. And he just kind of came in... And he hogs the whole intro of the track a little bit. And it's okay. He's hyping her up. And, yeah, they're Terror Squad and whatever. I get that. I'm not the biggest Fat Joe fan. Like, he's okay. But I'm not the biggest Fat Joe fan.
What do I know him from?
Lean Back.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
And on the Big Pun album review we did, he's on...
I definitely have come across his name.
He's on some stuff. He's definitely on the Twin Deep song or whatever. Twins or whatever. When they did the, like...
Like, I feel like I know him from, like, back in the day.
Well, he was around in, like, the 2000s and stuff. He was around for a minute. And then, like, did songs with some R&B bangers and shit. Like, anyway. I just didn't like him that much. And he was fine. But he was fine. it's just not as interesting. And then the subject matter is a little bit like she looks good and she's fresh and she's fly and she's on point and it's all fine. I didn't have a lot of interest in the subject matter.
Like, it's not deep.
The me thing, I can see how ladies all over are like jamming to that and singing to that. But all I hear is her going, me. Like, that's all I'm hearing when it's going off. And I totally get that I'm maybe not the right demographic for this particular joint. I give it a 4. It's good. It's a good song. It's not really my favorite song. I could live without it, but I don't think it shouldn't be here. It belongs here. It's a Remy Ma album. She's a lady. She's a bit more of a lady banger is what I'm feeling on this one.
Yes. I mean, not to be like sexist or whatever it is, but I feel like, yes, this is more lady inclined. Anyway,
the next one, because, last week we talked about this guy, me and Chris. It's got the homeboy SwizZz Beatz.
Classic.
Whatever. Bonnie, could you put your right hand up? And then could you put your left hand up? And then could you put your right hand up? And then your left hand up. Whatever.
Whatever. Yes, it's so much fun.
I love SwizZz Beatz. And
Yeah.
this is that era of him that it might be his greatest era where he's just banging off bangers. I don't know. I actually really like Poison. I saw some criticism on Poison, but I also heard that he didn't necessarily produce everything on that by himself. Like, he may have been a little more of a DJ Khaled role than, say, I thought at first when we talked about it. But on this, you just feel it. It's got that club banger shit. Mm-hmm. It's got that stuff that makes you want to go out. And
it's another ladies jam, I think. Like, this is definitely like we're ladies, whatever, we don't give a fuck, kind of like.
But I also feel like it's got that SwizZz Beatz feel, because he's singing it right there with her, right?
Yeah.
It's not really like he's leaving it there. He's like hyping it up, like put your left hand. He's there, and I this is just meant for a club.
Yeah.
And I can't see another thing except if I want to get hyped up. But on the subject of this track, hyping me up, I hate the hook kind of because it's so ridiculous. It's on par with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever on that track he just released. Like it is what it is. But yet, if I really put myself into 2 a.m. drunk, whatever, I could just see how the vibe is really good on that part.
Yep, been there.
And then Remy's, again, really proper on the verses. Got that kind of DMX violency to it. See, if God say it, get her, I'ma get her. I'll hit her with pillow, then where the casket won't fit her. The only reason I hit her, she kept talking greasy. Little jump skeezy, but I ask who I be. I'm like, okay, she killing people, coffins, whatever. It's proper SwizZz Beat club banger, lots of violence, lots of hands up and whatever. I'm not trying to like oversimplify it. It's just a really fun. She comes in, she's a monster, and I really enjoy the way she hits the verses, and I really fucking enjoy this beat. I think this song it's pretty fucking fun. I give it a 4.5. This is my favorite song so far. I'm not gonna lie, SwizZz Beatz helps a lot.
Yep.
The verses are totally fine. Like, her bars are proper. Her flow is so on point. Like she really manages to deliver every word with the right kind of swagger and intensity to like have this flair and personality and like true Remy Ma style with it. Because like when I listen to her newer stuff, it kind of has the same energy as this. It's like she really kept it real. Is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, 4.5 on 5.
Awesome. So like there's like the second you hear it, you know right away it's gonna be like a hype ass song. And SwizZz Beatz is amazing. He's obviously like a contributor to making this song what it is. And it's whatever, but in the best possible way. And her rhymes are pretty good. Like everything's good there. It's catchy as fuck. Like, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And I like, like an instructed dance move. I think that, that everybody can get behind. Like, I like that.
Bonnie's into line dancing. She's
you gotta love
country.
line dancing. I used to have a cassette of line dancing, actually.
I never did.
You're missing out. I got to know all the moves.
I'm from the city.
I wore white sparkly cowboy boots in kindergarten, and I was the coolest kid ever.
Whatever.
Anyways, there's a little tidbit about me. But anyways, I love this dance. I think it was so much fun. It's a big selling point for me. And I feel like I gave this a 4.75. But because I wish it could have been perfect, but I just found that the verses were like too long and different and like kind of like complicated a little bit. Which is good because, she's great and she's talented, but like it wouldn't be like, it would take me a long time to like remember all of those and to be able to like sing along with all of that. So I can't really sing along with this. It's not like one of those kind of songs because you can really only do like the chorus. Which is exceptionally fun. I liked it a whole bunch. And I like the fact that she just doesn't give a fuck, and she's very clear about that. And, you do you, girl.
All right. Why don't we talk about how there are some conceited messages in a skit?
Okay.
Hate you, fucking dirty bitch. Whack ass pussy. I ain't calling you never again.
So you hear the phone ring, and then some kids like, "Oh, y'all, calling here for my mommy. Stay off her shit." Like that, daddy? Which is kind of a cute, like, little thing. Like, the dad's like, "You can't fuck with Remy." Then there's some guy going on about how she's not calling him back and how he fucked her and he's going to go snitch and tell everybody, blah, blah,
He's
blah.
like basically threatening her in the message.
Cussing her out.
And
Click.
hates her.
She erases the message. There's no, like, commentary. You hear it, message erased. And then he calls her back a little bit later on. "I'm so sorry,
Like a little
I'm just
bitch.
playing, blah, 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 blah." Bonnie said it perfectly. Message erased. Then the next one is some girl who's all like, "Yo, I know you're fucking my man, blah, blah, blah." When you're hearing his phone ring off the hook, that's me that's calling. He loves me more than you, blah,
they
blah,
have
blah.
33 kids together.
Beep.
What?
Message erased. And then some girl.
No. And then at the end, she tells him she tells him that he's going to like really get it or something. Like when like,
tell him when he gets home, I'm going to fuck him up.
Yeah.
She raised the message. And then some chick is like, "Yo, I'm with some two guys. They're going to do anything. They say something special about Remy, blah, blah, blah. Bring the camcorder." And then
don't forget the camcorder. I think
Yeah.
she already did like another time.
And that was bad.
So this is like it's just kind of like her life.
And you know what the camcorder's for, because she's going to go and film whatever things are being done. I know it's not for fun. It's for evidence. Anyway, why don't we talk about... Anyway, no, I didn't even give grades on this. The skit's like, whatever. That's how I feel about it. I give it a 4.1, because it's like... It's okay. It's got the creativity. Sets up the premise. Maybe gives a little sample of the type of bullshit she has to deal with. It's cool. But, whatever.
You basically said it, and that's what it is. It was kind of funny, and it was kind of like maybe like a glimpse into like her like crazy life at this time. And I think that it goes that she just really just doesn't give a fuck about what any of these people really think. Probably the only girl she's gonna call back is call number or message for number 4 about like the doing whatever with these guys. So she's up for adventures and she like does all these crazy things, and I think that she just doesn't have time for like regrets or apologies. I think she just does whatever and she moves on, and that's kind of her game. I gave it a 4.25.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's talk about how Bonnie's conceited.
What?
Love, 'cause you what's up. Look at yourself in the mirror like what the fuck.
I want to give a lot of credit to the way she fucks up, the way she pronounces words in that first verse. Like, it's like the way she goes like pauses, miraculous or whatever. And she does it to flip up rhyme schemes and to like basically kind of fuck up the flow a little bit, but like in such a perfectly done way. And I think that is something that not many rappers do enough of or know how to do it really well. I mean, there's lots of great tricks you can do to like be kind of cool, but that one we don't see enough of. So I just wanted to give some love to Remy Ma for that. It's a great way to even start off this track. But why don't, again, it's probably more appropriate for you to take this one away and start it off.
Sure. This one is called Conceited, but it's also in brackets. There's something about Remy, so this is basically the title track. And this one kind of has like that, kind of what was popular at this time, or like kind of like what, like, a few girls were doing, sort of like a Middle Eastern kind of sound to it. It very much reminded me of, well, what's that one with Beyonce?
I don't know.
And she's, which one I know. If you know, you know. And so there's like belly dancers and shit. It just kind of like makes you think of that. And she's conceited basically, and she has every reason to be, because she's hot and she's looking fine and she's a little chubby, but like she doesn't give a fuck, because that's what her, that's what the guys that she's with are, they enjoy that. So she's not like answering to anybody. Like, she's happy with herself. And she's better than everybody else, and she loves what she looks like, and she loves who she is, and she knows that she's sexy and that she can dance and she can get guys to look at her, and she can turn all these guys on. Like, that's basically her power. And there's like no excuses. Like, she'll just do whatever, and she likes dancing on poles sometimes as well. And that's totally fine. If you need to do that and you want to do that, you do you. And so I think that she's obviously just very like, she wanted like a sexy feeling kind of song, and she wanted something that could like turn, the guys on. And then this is basically a song that's made for girls to kind of dance in a very sexy way. Like, when you hear it, like, you just want to start dancing, and like every move that my body automatically wants to make is sexy. And and I know it. Like, I have that power, and same as Remy. And so yeah, you just want to like dance to it. And so I give this a 5 on 5, because I would put this on a playlist, and I would enjoy dancing to it every single time it came on, and it would be like a fun. Is this going to be on
a hyped up commute?
Yes, it'll be on my like favorite playlist. So it's a 5 on 5.
There's a real playlist you can follow from her hyped up commute. It's loaded with stuff we've reviewed that's hyped up.
And then like a few random like musical tracks
that are not hyped up.
Or Disney.
Like the Moana song, not hyped up. Do you like Moana? Anyway, it's not that relevant.
Do your children like Moana?
So, yeah. I love the way she starts the second verse, too. Like, now who's that peeking in my window? Nobody. Because I live in a penthouse. Baby, I'm sorry, but I'm sexy. And all I want you to do is just bless me. And I'm just like, damn.
Yep.
She's rich. She's powerful. She's doing it all. She's basically, she knows what she wants. She's going to get it. It kind of does have that slower vibe to it. You can picture this being like I can picture like how strippers might be going at this.
Right?
How like, you're getting a lap dance or some shit, and like this is playing, and Remy's taking all your money. And like,
and it's 3 minutes 40 seconds. So I feel like that's like an appropriate length of time for a lap dance, because you don't want it to be too much longer.
Well, no,
you got to make your money's worth.
Songs are like 2 minutes long.
Okay.
Tyga,
I mean, I'm not an expert.
If I'm not mistaken, Tyga came in and made a lot of like 2 minutes. I'm certain it was before.
I feel like all the Nickelback songs are like 3 minutes.
Yeah, but there's like a lot of like 2 minute songs that have come out for strippers to just go to. If it's about a song, as short as possible. As long as
I get you, girls.
It's on Billboard. It's totally fine,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this song's beat's fine. It's a good song, but it really doesn't do a lot for me. I don't listen to a lot of music like this. I don't go to a lot of clubs. I don't go to strip clubs at all. I mean, it's cool to listen to Remy Ma say shit like face down, ass up on some Luke shit. I'm out of control with it. Dip it low, pick it up slow, poke it out, and I roll with it. Because, yeah, like, the idea of Remy Ma having amazing hit powers and bouncing around sounds lovely. But, like, she's married to Papoose and on State of the Culture and stuff, so it's kind of like, okay. Like, she's hot, but, it's just, I don't listen to a lot of songs like this in general. It's a 4.
Maybe you should. You would feel so sexy, and you would be, like, dancing around. It's
fine. I get why you like it. Again, I don't think I'm the right demographic for this. Or maybe I'm just not the right type of person for this one. I give it a 4.25. It's a good song for what it is.
Guys, if you don't know this song, put this on, and just, if there's a lady in your life, just watch and see what happens. And tell me if they don't dance. Or tell me if they do that. Just tell me what happens.
And,
or if you dance. Tell me if you dance.
I feel like the chorus is pretty fucking pretentious on this one, but, like, it's kind of the point of the song, so it gets away with it. But, like, I could see how a lot of chicks sang this and a lot of guys got annoyed. I'm just gonna like, if that happened to you, let me know in the comments.
I guess that's a warning if you do start playing this song.
Anyway, Neo shows up for Feels So Good.
Town, it could all be yours. Can you go another round? Don't wanna lose you in it, cause the
All right, so Neo goes all nice and R&B and lovely on the hook.
Yeah, and if you know Neo, this is what he does.
I only know him from the Pitbull song. You ain't working right, picture that. That's me with a Kodak. You know that Pitbull song. That's the only thing I know Neo from. And this now. Remy's like looking for a dude and doing the lovey-dovey kind of I want you, I want to fuck you, I can't believe I'm catching feelings for you, I'm all want to be a player type. So it is what it is, thug love type of song, I guess, but this time it's like Remy's the more thuggish type and the guy's like the crooner sweet talker one, so it's a bit of a role reversal. That's cool. This is really not my favorite song. It's not like the song is bad. It's just, if you've watched me for a while, you know that pretty much when we come across these lovey-dovey songs where it's like these R&B singles, they're not really like my cup of tea. It's well made. This might be one of the best hooks on the album. And Neo sings so lovely, actually. I was really impressed by him. But lyrically, nothing hooked me here. It was just like another song like this. And that's how I felt, except that the roles were reversed. That would be the standout thing. Remy raps great, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diminish anybody's talent. I'm just describing my interest in this type of lovey-dovey song. I mean, like, so good you can't keep your hands off. So good you feel you need to go and put your mans on. You got a BlackBerry off and your phone vibrating, and all you want to know is why my legs keep shaking. Like, I mean, it's good. It's what it is. It's not for me. I'll give it that 4.25. It deserves that for, like, the beat and the smoothness and everything about it. It's cool.
Okay. Like, I mean, this is clearly a sex song. I think this is like perfect because, you know, like the way that the album plays out is perfect. And so, you know, we have her not giving a fuck, and then in the next, you know, we have her, you know, seducing the guys and getting everyone horny, and then we have her like actually having sex with someone, and then she's kind of like starting to catch some feels a little bit. And so it does play out well on the album. I'll say that for this song right now. Neo is sexy in his voice and like the way he sings and whatever. And you know, this is basically about maybe like a guy that, you know, she's feeling she's almost loving towards, and she's kind of like, oh shit, like I'm catching feels, like she's just trying to like, you know, I guess, you know, just have sex with whoever, but like she's, you know, can't get enough of this guy and she's falling for him, and she wants him. I mean, I thought this was very good, you know, a very good song. I mean, this is, you know, Neo's great. You know, he's always good with the sexy, like, R&B. And I thought, you know, for what it is, you know, like, it's basically like an R&B song that's kind of played out on this album. I gave it a 4.75. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm is the next song.
Okay.
See, I'm from New York, so I rep the Knicks. I'm a hustler, I can get them bricks.
Yo, David Banner did the beat.
Yeah.
It's like one of the only beats that is like
David
credited with
Banner.
a beat maker on Genius. Sorry, it's one of the only beat makers credited on
He,
Genius.
I know he produces some of the other songs, but I can't remember which ones. But I definitely, like, this one is definitely like pointed out that it is
David
him.
Banner.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning. I like this hook. But, like, it's kind of, like, silly for what it... Not silly, but it's, like, one of those dated hooks, you know? Like, you look like a bitch, got your face all bent up. I'm like a pimp, got my gators in my pimp cup. You take orders, run errands. I take vacations with killers and four-time felons. It's not the lyrics, actually. It's fine. It's the flow and the way she delivers this chorus. It sounds so mid-2000s banger, right? Like, it sounds almost...
Yeah.
Like, exactly...
It sounds like Usher. It sounds like, you know, like that kind of, like feeling...
Again, like, it's meant for the clubs, it's meant for that kind of situation, but, like, it also doesn't have a stickiness to that chorus, except for maybe I don't know, I like a pimp, got my gators in my pimp cup, that line stuck with me, but, like, overall, I feel like it's just cool, it's just, like, it's a good chorus, because I like that era of music, particularly biased in that direction, but I can see how I also won't remember this track, but every time it comes on, I'm gonna get excited to hear it and like bump to it. if that makes any sense
Yeah.
to y'all watching this.
Yeah.
Her verses is cool. She spits harder than most dudes. I knew she said some shit like that on this album. I give it to you on any given Sunday, like Soul Food. Any given Sunday. All I can remember about that movie is LL Cool J snorting coke off of some girl's ass or some shit.
As you do.
That's all I can remember from that movie. I ain't gotta double my vocals. I fucking respect that, cause it's pretty tough to like be able to be dynamic enough on your takes as she is to not need to double it. And she just does her main, which I can relate to. You put down a main. If you do it proper, you don't have to double it. You do your ad libs. Maybe have the rest be done in Pro Tools. That sounds like the 2018 process, in my opinion. Anyway, y'all might have whatever you guys think about it. But I really like the way she kind of puts that down. But at the same time, it's kind of a weird thing to like be like, yo, I walk in the booth and this is my process. I get it. She's authentic, she's real, and she's talented enough to like spit it proper. It's still a bit like it's kind of like a funny thing to bring attention to. Is just kind of where I'm going with it. Still,
Yeah.
I loved her. Like I was talking to Kanye and I heard through the wire that I'm the truth and you're a liar. I really enjoyed that because it is a cool line, especially in 2008, back before all the modern Kanye stuff. And she rolls on through with the whole thing. They say my flow's crazy that I could spit and I rap as if I had a dick. Bitches is bad, but I'm that bitch. Listen, I'm so above average, but my walk is mean, but my whip is sick. I can't stand a clown, but I love a trick. And honestly, if you didn't know this was Remy Ma for the real, like you would know, like it could have been anybody that wrote this song. And I think that's what's really incredible is that she is like as good as any lyricist we've really talked about as far as this like classic sound, in my opinion. This song's got a really good banger feel to it, and in a much more relatable and enjoyable way than, say, the ones we've previously been listening to with the lovey-doveys. I enjoyed this more. I'm going to give it a 4.3.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, as soon as like I heard that it was going to be David Banner, like I got excited. Like I really like, I mean, I like the last album. That's the only album that I know. So
We're talking about the God Box album,
yeah, that one that we reviewed. We could probably put that in.
if we remember. Anyway, just keep
And
searching if you
anyways,
don't.
so I got excited, and then I mean, it was good, and it was different from the other ones. You could tell it was like his beat, kind of, and then we go into it, and she's the queen, and she's on top. But like overall, for me, like this song felt long, and it's only like 4 minutes and 7 seconds. And it's just like about her being the best. And she's out of the hood, but the hood is still in her. She kind of talks about that. But like on this song, there wasn't really anything that like stood out to me. Like I think that you kind of had that same feeling like with the chorus. You said that nothing really like it would be enjoyable to listen to, but you wouldn't remember it.
I mean, there's like kind of moments to it, like the Gator Cup thing, but I mean, it was like it wasn't sticky. Like what I mean by sticky is me. Like you heard that once and it was stuck in your head for a week, right?
Yeah.
That's what sticky is, and that isn't in this song.
So I mean, it's good, but for me, like this one didn't stand out. Like nothing, like I wouldn't remember this song necessarily. So I give this a 4 on 5.
All right, why don't we talk about some Thug Love?
Falling in love, all that I ever dreamed of was fucking a thug, so I could bust a few.
Whereas I do not really like what Fat Joe did with that hook. I love what Big Pun did with this hook. It makes me want to review that other Big Pun album, just hearing him on this track. He's so fucking good. Like, an incredible lyricist, incredibly talented voice, and could it be your falling in love? Like, something about the way he does it that just has this funness,
Yeah.
It's really cool. And then, Remy's kind of like falling for him, and she's kind of questioning being like a black girl, being involved with a Puerto Rican a bit, and questioning, well, that kind of makes the cutest babies, even if y'all think it's like weird. I never really considered that interracial.
But we do find out she does speak Spanish.
Yeah, but it just like on the interracial dating thing is that I guess I never really considered that it would be that big of a deal between all groups, I guess, So that was an interesting thing for me, at least, to think about. And then, like, she kind of rolls on through and describes, falling for this thuggish type who's, able to handle the shit. And, I'm not really sounding that cool. Either way, she fell in love with a big pun type of guy because he's a big old thug and she loves his style and shit. And then Big Pun comes in, and I wasn't actually expecting him to do a verse at first, so he starts rapping, and it's just fucking I swept you off your feet, you was just crossing the streets, and he was talking to me, or was it my boys in the Jeeps? Either, or she said she loved me, the way I play ball, go after bigger, even though there was nice and tall, you know, like, she's kind of like, he came in, he impressed her, even though there were other people around and whatnot, and it's like flows through like this suave story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, the way he rhymes and the way he flows is just gorgeous. Like, he really is one of the greatest. You know, if he dropped like 5 more albums, he'd definitely be in the GOAT conversation legitimately. I really like it. Busting her hymen, the sight of the sex, she started busting out crying. Her bus went by and she was ready, up in there riding, cussing and wilding on the back porch. Whose pussy is this? Oof. Now that's some Mac Daddy shit right there, you know? Breaking on through, showing her that the first entry into the world of love making is with this big old thug like Pun and shit, you know, getting her all up in there, and then whose pussy is this? And you can just hear her being like, it's yours, daddy, in the background. You can just hear him finishing the thought. Fucking great track. He's a 4.5 on 5. I really, really like this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's basically, you know, sort of like a love song, you know, and we have, you know, Big Pun and, you know, her, and then it's, you know, there's a bit more sex involved, and basically, like, about them, like, wanting each other and going for it, and I guess, you know, she must have, like, saved this song, you know, if it's 6 years later, you know, maybe she was, like, you know, kind of, like, remembering, like, you know, these moments, and, like, you know, wishing that, you know, he was still here, and whatever, and it's, like, sweet and sexy, and it's nice, and Pun is great, you know, he does a good job, yeah, I like this one. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was like the best, but I liked it. You know, about
fucking better than the Neo song.
I give this a 4.25.
It's fucking. You know what? It's fine. I'm gonna take you to a secret location.
Oh boy.
Too much dollars, I pop your top right off your fucking collar. Young Remy, I know where I been.
She sells drugs. She's gangster. Like, she's got a little spot. I don't really get this song. I don't really understand the point of it. I mean, I get, like, she's like laying down some, like, maybe it's just to, like, prove the legitimacy side of her life. Like, she's so connected to the world or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how involved she was in it. And, like, she sounds legit. Like, I love the never keep the guns the same place where the safe is. Never keep the funds the same place where the base is. Mm-hmm. Actually, this hook is pretty much a fucking banger. It just sounds, like, street and hard. Like,
yep.
It almost had, like, that dryness of something like what Jadakiss would spit. Don't get mad at me if you don't hear it. I just picture that, okay? Sometimes I come up with these connections, and in the comments, y'all are like, what the fuck? How do you come up with that shit? Because I don't know as much hip-hop as you, okay? That's how I come.
Like, it definitely sounded like something that, like, you know, I've heard in, like, the real, like, thug, you know, kind of, like, people who are really in the game. Like, this is what they talk about, you know, like, having things, like, kept separately. And, you know, like, it's a smart move.
And then, like, it's hard, too. Like, now that's word to the grandma, cock the hammer on the block and blow your face off in front of the camera and plug that hole with your little bandana. And I still got jewels like my name is Santana. That's because there's a rapper called Joel Santana.
Okay.
It's pretty power. And then, like, describing, like, pulling up to the sausage party all decked out on this pink gangster shit ready to go. And, like, she just adds this, like, feminine flair to that gangster shit, but does it in a way where she is a new breed of female, you know? Like, she really isn't like any other chick rapper we've talked about so far, in the sense that she manages to sell that authentic thug shit as well as any other male could, you know? Mm-hmm. So for that, cool props, and I really give kudos to it. But I feel like this is another one that isn't necessarily for me. It's a little more thugged out and shit, which is a cool song. I could vibe to it. I give it a 4.25. I really enjoy it, but a lot of it kind of went over my head. Just, I didn't spend a lot of time trying to interpret and decode it, to be fair. But it just kind of was like, all right, this is vibed out. She's saying a lot of legitimate sounding stuff, but I've never lived the life, so I can't really connect to it so deeply, you know?
Well, maybe you can't connect to it because when God made her, what is it? I think it's, you know, he, like, Hold on. What's the line? What's the actual line? I
I'm
don't want to
looking
screw
for
it up.
But you should write these down if you want to come in with your sassinesses. But so after checking into the lyrics, whatever joke Bonnie was trying to make is not on this song.
Never mind.
So let's go on.
Anyways, so she's smart and she's smarter than me, right? And has her like essentials, whatever it is, if it's like drugs or if it's money or whatever, or guns hidden like in secret locations at different places. So like if she gets caught, like, you know, it's only going to get caught at one place. She's not going to lose everything. So it's a smart move when you are like, you know, involved in like some maybe shady business. And this is how she gets away with, you know, whatever crimes that she's involved with. And, you know, again, she kind of talks about like drugs and money and that she's kind of like in that game and she's like, she's going to keep doing it. And like, it's kind of like her backup plan. So, you know, she does, you know, she has to do what she does and, you know, make sure that there's money in her bank. And, you know, she keeps things in different like countries and different cities. And, you know, so she's smart and she's like a boss. And I like this one. I liked it had cool beat. And it was very, for me, like of the times, like this is like from 2006. So like this definitely sounded like 2006, 100%. So I maybe it doesn't maybe like translate into like today's music, but it definitely feels like you're kind of listening to like, I guess what is like a, you know, classic song now. So I give this a 4.4.
That's fair. Why don't we talk about the industry skit?
Okay.
These bitches is industry like with some real like they used to, you know, saying shit about bitches.
So everyone's fake. She real. The hood's still in her. She can't help it. I give this a 3. I don't feel like this added anything to the album, personally.
Okay.
I don't think it really took anything away from it, but like, it's short and it's to me like whatever.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's only 19 seconds. She's basically like a tough cookie, and the bitches in the rap industry are getting, you know, kind of like their warning if they talk shit about her. You know, like she's not scared to like go after you, so she will. And she'll either like fight you or destroy your life, and you know, it's kind of real, and it is what it is. So I gave it a 4.25.
All right, cool. Why don't we move on and talk about some shit?
Bilingual.
Moi, je suis bilingue. So remember when they grabbed those camcorders earlier? Well, one of my favorite lines on this entire fucking album is actually when she's like, we got the dildos and vibrators and like stuck in the butt and like whatever, and we got it on camera and we fucking raped him and shit, and I'm like, damn, you know?
Yeah.
Turned into faggots, they balls cut off and mailed to their parents. See, I don't give a fuck, I'm a motherfucking savage. Yeah, man, like she's fucking like really come in. We ran triz on his lips and made him dress up, and I got it on tape. We straight fucking raped him. Don't get it confused. See, I hate male groupies. Woo!
Yep.
So when they got that camera, that's some extortion shit coming. This is not like, they don't, I mean, that's some gangster shit. I'm not gonna lie. This was fucking cool.
Yep.
Came in proper. And then there's some, Remy Ma is like flipping some Spanish bars throughout the whole way, but then she has the entire Spanish verse at the end from Miss Ivy, who's coming in. If you go to the Genius page, I used this Deep L translator that was recommended to me from somebody in the comments. Thank you, Deep L translator recommendator person. And it's cool because like you get the idea of what she's saying, and like Miss Remy with the Queen. Now we're going on fire. This is my hard debut, like thunder. And it's kind of like, it still sounds fucking great in English, even if the rhymings are a little off. You know, Cocoroca, the island of Encanto, flying in song and take him out with his tears in cold blood. My Quies have offspring. Hora, in case you didn't know, Queen arrives on stage. They're pitiful with the mad woman that go frogging. I'm from the street. If you're looking for me, I'll walk around with a couple of crazy people to see you jumping. If you don't want a holidays, I don't know what that is. Don't despair, deserved. I'm in control of women. Many hate me, others love me. I sell my records and I have my goods. Rah, Remy, get ready. Everybody go rock steady, go rock steady. That's fucking cool. Like, it's got the same kind of intensity as Remy Ma, but in Spanish.
Yep.
And it's fucking sick. Overall, I really enjoyed this, you know, like the beat kind of has like this funky freshness to it. Like it's the first beat I would say of this nature I think we've heard on this album. She sells it, man. Like it's just powerful. It's just some shit I've never really heard. The way she's willing to use sex as a weapon to get what she needs. She knows she's hot. She knows she's powerful. She knows the control she has. It's dope. 4.5 on 5. This is a great song.
Yep. So like when you like first hear it, like it's a pretty like sick and intense beat. Like so you know something's going to happen, but at the same time it has like kind of like a creepy feeling to it. So like it's you know and like you know then when she goes into like the first verse, it's all about her you know killing these people and you know these guys and like doing crazy stuff, and then she kind of talks about like she's bilingual and she you know proves it, and she you know speaks in Spanish, and I think you know and she does it perfectly, so I guess she is bilingual. And then the second verse we have her you know talking about like raping a guy, and I feel like in like if this was like in today's days I feel like that would be like a whole different story. People would be all up in arms.
Well, I feel like the only people who would be up in arms would be a bunch of white dudes on the right side of the spectrum complaining about men's rights and whatnot.
Yeah. So I mean it is pretty interesting like the way like she's kind of like being powerful and like the way that she's kind of like taking control, and she's raping someone. It's not often you hear about a woman raping a guy. So, but you know, she's doing all these crazy things to you, and she's going to like kind of screw you over and ruin your life, basically. But it sounded really cool. So I mean, it makes a good story, I guess. I gave it a 4.5 as well. I really liked it. I liked I liked Ivy League, who was featured here, and I liked that she embraced her second language, because sometimes you know people will do like a whole separate.
Well, especially like if she's around, I guess the Puerto Rican community as much through like pun and all that.
Yeah, you know, like it is kind of like that, and she's kind of like, you know, going to be able to like get more fans that way. So why not?
Well, I mean, it's just showing love to like the people who helped her come up. I think it's a really cool move.
Yeah.
It's a way of, you know, making sure your conscience stays good with the skit.
What's this?
Put that in there.
I got it. What's this?
Yo, look, man.
The thing I like the most about this skit isn't the skit. It's state of the culture. Because I can picture Joe Budden just like saying some shit and Remy being like, Joe, just shut the fuck up and don't put words in my mouth. I never said that shit. This is what I'm trying to say, etc., etc., etc. And I really enjoyed that side of this skit. I wasn't sure who it is, if it was Fat Joe or Big Pun, but I assume it's one of those two. And he's like, yo, we're going to go kill this dude, etc., etc. You're going to show up at the time? And she's like, yo, I did not agree to do this. What the fuck are you talking about? I said, no, I'm tight with the guy. He's like, I don't care about his moms. I don't care about whatever. And she's like, come on. And then the skit just kind of ends with him being like, I'm going to be there. You better be there. Here's the gun. And gives her a gun. And then takes off. And it's cool because of how it flows into the next song, which is great because it kind of ties together really nicely. But I still found this one more entertaining to listen to because you never hear this version of the skit where like normally it's like, yeah, let's go kill him. I kill him. That's like every version of a skit. You bring a woman into it, all of a sudden it's like, yo, I never agreed to do this. I mean, like you're like,
we're like, wait.
Hold on a second. And it's a very different version of what's played out. And I thought that had a really cute charm to it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, so it's about some like, you know, they're planning to like commit a crime, about sneaking out later, and you know, like it's planned, but she doesn't want to gape him. So I'm not really sure what that means.
I think it's kill.
Yeah, I guess it's kill, but I don't really know like where it derives from. Anyways, I like this one. It was funny, and I get it. You know, it is kind of like a different feeling. You know, like you didn't really sign up to do like this or kill like, you know, all these people. So I gave it a 4.25.
All right, let's talk about the follow-up then. What happens next when she gets back into her car and it turns out she's fucking guilty.
Nobody really be using these streets before 7. Got the pedal to the metal like I lost my...
So this one is a short but intense story.
Yeah.
It starts off like you can almost picture like he pulls off in the end of that skit. He put the gun in my hand. I took my hand and put the gun in my pants. I took my pants and pulled them up on my ass. So, you know, she got herself ready to go. The gun's going on. Gets into a car. She's a little bit high. It's early in the morning. Nobody's supposed to be around. She's like speeding. She's like burning stop signs.
And she's upset a little bit, and like
She's like crying. She's like
cry.
freaking out. Especially if all of a sudden she's being like pressured in to go kill somebody or to commit some situation or whatever reason. She's got this gun. She's speeding. So she's riding dirty and she's high. Mm-hmm. And then
bad mix.
She's running on through and she's doing 95 and she doesn't notice a school zone. Mm-hmm. I don't know about y'all, but Montreal, I assume it's 95 miles, which is probably like 140 or some shit like that kilometers. So that's like she's tearing down like the streets at like too fast for legal highway driving in Canada. And then like she's like basically ripping through it what would be 30 kilometers, so probably fucking like, I don't know, 15 miles for y'all or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
No, a little more like 22 miles or some shit like that is what our speed limit is in school zone. So she's like ripping on through and then thump hits some little girl. And then like she hears the little girl crying for her mommy, and then she's faced with this choice, right? So if she stays and she like deals with the situation with the cops legally,
yeah,
she's
she's
high and the cops aren't going to care. She's going to jail.
Got a
she's
gun.
done. She's over.
Yeah.
And so she bolts, and now she has a guilty conscience, and she has to live with this forever.
This hit and run with this little girl.
And it just kind of ends with her like hit and run because now I got a guilty conscience. And she flows proper. The beat's got this intensity. It's a fucking banger. It's really great. And overall, I enjoyed this a lot. I think it's one of the stronger tracks on this album. I give it a 4.5. It's a crazy little ride that, like, every time you listen to it, even when you know what's coming, it still hits you and you still get the feels.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much it. It is a very captivating, but kind of a bad story. Like, it's kind of like what you shouldn't do and what is like, the morally wrong thing to do. But it's it's going to keep you out of jail. And you're going to do what's best for yourself, I guess. So it's a choice that I guess has to be made in like situations like this. So yeah, I mean, I gave it a 4.5 as well.
All right, why don't we take along and talk about how Bonnie's crazy?
Far from fake, it's Remy the friend with the strip pole in the basement. Now that's
This one's kind of cool, and I like it because it's super personal. Like, it's got this very stream of consciousness flow. Like, she's kind of reflecting on different things. Like, so the way you picture her in this song is she's got a fan base, she's got a career popping, but she's not there yet, right? She's like almost there. And she's just kind of almost describing some of the stress that's going on in that kind of thing. Like, it's crazy. I be thinking everybody trying to play me lately. I know I be flipping on a daily basis. I hate waiting. I'm impatient. Bitch, don't ask me why I got ice grill. That's just how my face is. I piss in public places. Slightly racist. Right now I'm robbing a thief and fucking a rapist. That's some interesting bars to hear right at the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. She doesn't trust anybody. The situation's coming, even though she's like climbing and etc. And it's coming, and she knows it's coming. It's hard to be patient and wait, especially when you put in that work every day, etc. But when she starts saying like how she's slightly racist and she, fucking around, like she's basically a rapist in a sense, it's like this is not language you would typically hear anybody come right out and admit. And
yeah.
It's kind of like a level of self-awareness of maybe some of the shit she's battling with and understanding. And I really, really dug it. I thought it was fucking cool. Plus, it's hard as fuck, Yeah. I married an immigrant to get him his papers and don't want to give me the mic because they scared I'm going to say shit. And that's right. I'm going to say shit right in their faces. This is Remy straight in the rocks with nothing to chase it. That's a fucking great line, too. I mean, Remy Martin is disgusting to me, but, like, I don't know if you've ever had it, but, like, I find it fucking gross. But still, it's a great line altogether in just the intensity. And then, like, she flows on through. Second verse, she smokes whatever, and she flows on the same kind of stuff. I swear I wouldn't have to write or spend dough on smokes, and that's crazy. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Still, Sometimes I get lost in my thoughts on this. It's hard to do these things for anyway. It's a great flow. I kind of like how she ends it. I think the craziest shit I ever said is I wish I could bring Pum back.
Yeah.
You know, that's some great whatever. And I just kind of like the sense that it's almost like people try to make her feel like she's crazy because she's still pursuing her dreams, or she has to deal with all the fake people, and it's just different angles of the crazy element. I like the overall beat. It's not like as cool as maybe some of the other beats, but I feel like it's the right style for this like personal journey that she's taking you along. And I kind of like that sample heavy hook that she threw in here, and that's a cool move that like I like more of. I wish she'd done more of that on this project, but I gave this one a 4.5. I think this part of the album is like pretty fucking stellar. Like it really is taking a step up in that middle part.
Yeah. You know, so she's basically like she talks about being like a rapist and like that she's also a racist and she likes guns. So she's made me think of like a Trump supporter. But I mean, hey, I don't know if that's what she really is, but hey, it's just interesting to like kind of like get that like feeling from her. But she's
hip hop had a lot of support for Trump prior to 2016. I'm gonna throw it out there.
That's okay. So she's tough, you know, and she did, like, you know, as previously said, she doesn't give a fuck, and she walks around metal detectors like at clubs or shows or whatever. She doesn't have to deal with any of that. And you know, I also wrote down like the line about bringing Pun back. So she's basically just crazy, but it's good and it's a good beat. And it's a very unique song because, you know, her story is unique, obviously, but like this is definitely like a different type of a song that you don't normally hear about.
You know what's a really cool line though? Just sorry to interject, but I'm from the generation where we did shit because you dared us. They said I wish every breath I take didn't taste like drunk. That's a fucking interesting line, right? Because you got this picture. A lot of people drank wild out. Oh,
Peer pressure.
You fucking dare me to do it. Oh, yeah. Fight breaks out. Shit, you know. It's kind of an interesting environment she's painting. I really like it.
It's a lot of pressure, I think. That's all it is. And then you're just kind of like dealing with it afterwards. But yeah, I gave it a 4.5 as well.
All right. Why don't we talk about what's going on?
Take a walk, step in my shoes, thinking negative thoughts. Politics, shit, quick when a doctor.
All right, Bonnie. How do you feel about this one?
I knew that was going to come to me this time. So I'll just start off. This is also featuring Keyshia Cole. So this song is, you know, it starts off, she's getting high, and she doesn't notice that she's pregnant. And then, you know, I guess, you know, eventually she does, and she has to decide. And she's, you know, this is a very real, you know, conflict that you have to deal with, like, and you have to decide, like, what's going to be good for you and what's, you know, you have to do what's right for you. And every woman, you know, if you're in this situation and you're not really sure what's going to happen, you have to make this choice if you believe in abortion. Anyways, and so it's obviously, like, struggling with the decision to make have an abortion or not. And also the fact that, like, she can't afford it, which is, you know, a whole other issue about healthcare. And she's young and, you know, she's nervous that, you know, that the kid's going to be a bastard child. And then, you know, she ends up going through with it. And, you know, it was the right thing for her to do at the time, but she's kind of looking back and she does kind of regret having done it. But she knows that she made the right choice, and it was it is a tough decision, and like it's a tough kind of song to listen to a little bit, but it was really well executed. I really liked the way it came across, and like the way that she was able to like tell her story and her choices and how she feels. And like I would understand, like, you know, if you have any sort of like a conscience, then you're going to probably regret, you know, having done these kind of things. But you know, it's what worked out best for you in the end. And, you know, you have to decide that for yourself. So it's, you know, it's very real, you know, shit that's going on. It's very honest. It's not like a banger or a hit or anything like that, but it's like, you know, it is a very good song. And I said this is a 5 on 5. This is, you know, great.
Yeah, I mean, this song has an honesty to it, and it kind of goes into an area where maybe not enough people talk about the subject in an honest kind of way, where you're telling your own story and what you've gone through.
And she seems to be the right person to do that because, you know, she doesn't, she comes across as like she doesn't give a fuck, but like she's kind of like dealing with like this still, but it's still what she had to do for herself.
But it's like on top of that, it's like it's just the strength she shows coming through, and in 2006 dropping this track, which is more significant than doing it in 2018, I would say. But yeah, and it's just stuff like how her boyfriend's parents were so happy that they're gonna have a son or a kid and everything's there, but her mom's like doesn't give a fuck about that situation. You can't afford it. Like,
yeah,
it's that split, like the pressure from her family to terminate the child, and how like even though she wanted to keep it and this was her blood and she was really starting to grow that attachment, she was almost forced into not having it by the environment and recognizing maybe the responsible route to take. And then describes even just having to sit in the doctor's office after 4 months and going through the whole thing and having to live with that situation. If you've ever been involved in the abortion thing, it's a complicated thing to live with for the rest of your life, and I can only imagine what it's like for a woman to have to go through that. So I think it's an incredible thing she put out, and the chorus is really like strong too. Tell me what's going on. I know what I'm doing is wrong. Can you hear me, Lord, when I'm calling for me? Forgive me, my baby. How am I supposed to feel when the situation is real? I never wanted to let your baby go. We'll meet again. I know, baby. Just like the idea that you're like praying out that like, when you get to heaven, let's say maybe you'll actually meet that kid that you killed and shit. That's a really serious thing. Like, I don't know. I'm of the mind that abortion should be that woman's right and choice, straight up, more than a man's right and choice, but a woman's right and choice. And like, whatever your ethical or philosophical point of view is on the subject, it's such a complicated issue, and I like the fact that she paints it as the complicated issue that it is, and that's kind of honesty is why I love it. I give it a 5. I really like when Remy Ma goes personal. I think she has a good story to tell.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a great song, but still, there's one left to talk about.
Body on my back saying hurry up and drop, so I'm asking you what I'm supposed.
I gotta just say that piano beat kind of feels so weird and
love a piano,
but it's so weird and corny for this song. Like, I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yeah.
It's another personal tale. First one, she's kind of going through the process of her grinding through recording an album and how everything was cool and lovey-dovey with the guy she's with and a family's going on. Everybody's happy, but he starts getting kind of jealous and insecure because she's never home because she's grinding all the time and the hours are long and whatever. So he thinks she's cheating, and she's kind of like, the relationship fell apart, so she's kind of reflecting on that. And then in the second verse, she talks about how her brother chose a chick over her, and, even though they're all kind of cool today, he never apologized, and it kind of bothers her. And then in verse 3, her stepdad used to beat the mom or whatever, and then one day gave her a black eye, and as much as everything's cool now, she still knows that her mom let it happen, so still, and then has that really dorky freaking hook. Listen, y'all, I know it seemed like I'd be dissing y'all. I'm just trying to reach my goals and remain focused, but ain't shit changed. Now I'm still the same, so wish me well. Sometimes I might scream and yell, but even people with a fan base have bad days, but ain't shit changed. For real, I'm still the same. I think it's the weirdest fucking flow on a chorus I've heard. It's just such a weirdly structured chorus to me. I get what the words are fine in terms of what the message is. It glues the song together the way it's supposed to. But like, it doesn't follow any of the rules a good hook follows, in my opinion. It's just whatever. And the fact that the song's called Still because of the line in the chorus, and I'm just like, still, wish, and I'm like, okay, Remy. The verses, though, are freaking great. And it's cool to like see her go through the personal thing. And like it, as much as the beat's corny, it has that thinking back, remembering, trying to forgive you, but like I've been through some shit. I'm trying to just do better now, feel to it. And I like what she's doing with this song. And I like the storytelling kind of feel to it. It's fine. I don't want to like dwell too much more on it. I gave it a 4.5 because I really do enjoy the personal things, and it could have been a 5 if that chorus had been okay.
Yeah, I mean, so that's pretty much what it is, and, it is basically just kind of like how things used to be so good, but, then in order to make it, like, there was a lot of, like, things that had to change and be sacrificed and whatever. And she's just trying to like make her dream happen, and like she's leaving people behind because she needs to like progress, and she needs to like it is sort of like about like not forgetting your roots and knowing where you came from, but also like having to make the choices to succeed, and having to like maybe drop people and make different choices. And at the end, she talks about the guy that's beating her, or is it the mom?
It's the stepdad.
Oh yeah. So like she has to like forgive, and it's just kind of like that situation, because what else can she do? She's just gonna like live with the anger. So it's just kind of, you need to like just like let it go. And I like this one, and I think that this one shows that she's like determined, and she's willing to do whatever it takes, and she still is like in like a public figure today. So I think that's pretty good that she's still like doing her stuff, and I think that she definitely has a lot to say. And it felt very real, and I like that, and I did like the piano. I gave it a 4.5 as well.
All right, that's cool. So that's the end of the album. Still, wish you well. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. So to sum up, I gave this album a 4.25-ish. It's okay. It's not my favorite album. There are a few points in the middle that are not that great to me from the lovey-dovey perspective. I just want to get the negative out. It's the opposite of the Joe Budden approach of positive first, because the rest of it's all love. I mean, Remy Ma is an excellent fucking rapper. The way she hits these verses is ridiculous. Her wordplay is very strong. Her ability to enunciate and to deliver with flair is crazy. She doesn't need a bunch of excessive tricks and bullshit to like flare it up, because she's just that real with it. Her hooks can be very weird sometimes, as you may have noticed.
That's your issue.
But the beats are fucking great for the most part. I mean, I don't like the little lovey lull in the middle, but I feel like it starts off as a very strong project. I could live without a couple of the skits, and like I don't really know if there's anything to cut though, because the songs that I don't like in the middle are mostly because they're lady jams that are not really for me, and then all the hard shit, it's as hard as anyone else. It's pretty cool. So to end it, put your left hand up and put your right hand up and whatever. It's a good album.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this album. I give this 4.46 on 5, so it's like an 89%. So, I mean, I give this a pretty high mark. I very much enjoyed it. It was all fun. There definitely is like a lot of like, lady hits, but I appreciate that as a lady, and that, I am your lady friend, Bonnie. And it's in the name, folks. And I liked it. It was fun. And we definitely have like a variance of like topics. Although some of them like they aren't like super deep, but then when she gets super deep, it's deep. And we've got her hard. We've got her like having sex. We've got her like sexy music. We've got like her truths. So there is kind of like a variance of like different. There's something for everyone on this album, I would say. And there's definitely like some hits and like songs that like I'm gonna like definitely add to my favorite playlist. And so I'm very happy that I discovered Remy Ma, and you should go check her out if you haven't already.
That's true, and watch State of the Culture because it's dope. But yo, thank y'all for watching. We totally appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Make sure to let us know in the comments what you thought of Remy Ma, the album, the review, anything. If you enjoy the Nintendo Switch, let me know. We could be friends. We just want to give us a quick shout out to the Patreons. This Mel Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Super Old School 1994, and Linda Williams. They support us. With their help, we are going to start getting better gear. We'll at some point have enough to get a new camera, some other set shades, really start to upgrade. Maybe get some more black sheets to make it look less tacky in here. Cool stuff is coming. So if you want to help us, that would be lovely. You can force our hand in album reviews. Once a month, the patrons are going to pick a review. And then if you sign up, you get your own whatever the fuck you want us to cover, even if it's yours.
Whatever.
Could be your cousin's album. We'll talk about that. Access to content early, whatever. If you don't want to deal with that, I get it. It's Patreon, whatever. You get that speech in all the YouTube videos. You also get the subscribe, like, comment speech in all the YouTube videos. So if you could do that, it would be freaking awesome. You don't have to smash the bell. I upload stuff you might not care about. Anyway, thank you. Thanks you for watching. It really does mean the world. I appreciate it. If you stuck it
through this long, you might as well just like it.
So yeah, y'all are awesome, and have a great week. And let us know what you want to see us cover in the future, and we will do our best to get to it. Peace and all that good shit.
Bye, guys.
Bye.